G'day, it's Simon here from iJumpTV, and today we're going to get a little bit arty, but if you're not in the arts, don't run away. This is really relevant for just about every service-based and perhaps some product-based companies. We're talking to Anna Connell from the Auckland Theatre Company. Now she shouted me and a whole lot of other Twitterers to see the play Horseplay, which I really recommend you see if you're in Auckland. And afterwards we had a little bit of a chat about how she uses social media to promote the theatre company. So here she is. So Anna, who are you?
I am the Partnerships Manager at Auckland Theatre Company, but by proxy, through my own kind of personal interest, I've ended up doing a lot of the online stuff at the company as well. So
very cool.
I primarily look after our Twitter account and our Facebook stuff, and I write our blog as well.
Very cool.
But we're trying to share that out amongst the rest of the company at the moment as well, which is an interesting venture.
What's the process like when you start to take something that's natural to you and kind of make it part of the organisation?
It's a really interesting process because our core business is doing what you've seen here tonight, which is about taking something off a page and translating it into a live theatre experience. So in a way, the online kind of stuff is almost the antithesis of what we actually do as a business. Yeah. So my challenge is kind of about, okay, well, how can we use those channels to enhance the experience for our audience, and then how do we make the rest of the business understand how important that is. I think for us, we've got a really kind of strong sales model in terms of what we do already, and the challenge for us is about how we look at social media, because we're a live theatre experience, how we take that and then make it something that makes audiences feel like they're as much a part of it as, the guys on stage. What
would your advice be to anyone in the arts who's thinking of getting into this?
I would think really carefully about what your content might be, or where your opportunities for dialogue or conversation are, because they're not, as I've said, the same as somebody who has an immediate service kind of provider responsibility and can, respond to queries or questions about a service. Us as people going, we loved it or we hated it, or that's a weird casting choice or whatever. So I think kind of thinking about where you might be able to derive content from is really, really important. So coming into the space, you don't want to be someone who's constantly blasting people all the time, publishing stuff, but, making sure that you've got some stuff there that enhances people's relationship with your art form. So I would suggest looking at something like a blog, trying to get as much support for behind-the-scenes footage or interviews with cast, crew and creative. So, we have a really good process for dealing with mainstream traditional media, but we're just starting to institute stuff that's around dealing with social media as well. And it's far more immediate and actually far easier for us to do. So for Young and Hungry, which is a festival of theatre that we do for younger people and their plays that are written specifically for a younger generation, we've bought those publicists a flip mini and just go nuts. And so that will be really interesting to see what happens there. And I've been trying to get that for us as well. But I think it's just and have some sort of policy and procedure around what it is that you're doing, because when you're working in an arts organisation, you are dealing with companies who are about getting the work up and promoting the work, and then you're dealing with creative teams whose heads are in this space and in this theatre, and it is not okay for me to rock in on the Thursday before we preview, go, hey, I need to talk to you, director. So you have to think about it, you want the immediate stuff, because that's I think where social media has massive kind of pull power, but you also have to think about it in terms of scheduling it just like you would any kind of traditional media call sort of thing. So and I think one of the other things is just being really conscious of where your stuff is at, like where people are talking about you, because oftentimes it's not in the spaces that you think it is. So I have got really savvy at searching, because for me, one of the big things is it's not about me generating the content, it's about our audience generating the content. And so if I can pull as much of that in as possible and start engaging with the people that are writing stuff about us, that is far more valuable to me than me just kind of plunking away trying to make stuff up. So, I mean, it might sound creepy, but I mean, I do run searches on all of our shows. And you know, we've got quite active sort of analytics on a lot of our web stuff and all the rest of it, and it's just finding where people and you find people in the most unlikely places, you know, writing blogs about what we do, and we wouldn't know about it unless, you know,
unless you're actually looking.
Yeah, unless you're looking. So I think for arts organisations the key thing is to have a policy and a strategy in place about how you're going to manage it, have some content available so you can start stimulating some dialogue, and also just have really good awareness around people are writing about your stuff, or you know video log,
sharing an opinion.
Yeah, because it's not what you think it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great, Anna. Thank you for a great show, and thanks for some great thoughts.
No problems, anytime.
Cool. So thanks, Anna, for that. That was really awesome, and we love just hearing and talking to people who are actually using social media in the trenches, and we've got a couple more coming up in the next few episodes. But what are your thoughts? You know, if you're in arts or if you're not, you know, how do you tell the story behind the scenes, what's going on in your company? So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, or just send us an email. iJumpTV was brought to you by Sci Social Media Consultancy. Find us at sciengage.com and find out what's happening in social media in New Zealand and around the world at iJump.co.nz. See you later.
Save people from the future, sneaking into secret chambers. Save people from the future.
So thanks for that, Anna. And it's